All right. So, an amazing thing happened today at this Speed Chess Championship where you got the likes of Naka, Fedoseev, Carlsen, all kinds of people playing this thing. This is the semifinals, as I understand them. But the amazing thing to me isn't just this tournament. We could talk forever about it. What I want to focus in on is something that happened today that maybe it's some kind of record, but it's definitely pretty interesting. And that is that Naka destroyed Fedoseev in this blitz thing. And let me just describe the format a little bit. They play 8 games at, I believe it's 5-5. So 5 minutes with a 5-second increment. And then they get faster and faster. And like 3-1 and then 1-1. 1-1 being 1 minute with 1 second increment. And let's make sure we're going on here. So the remarkable thing about it is that the first bit of it, the 5-5, Carlsen won 8-0. Totally stunning. Totally stunning. And let's make sure we got this here. Totally stunning development. What I want to do is I want to go through these games and just kind of get a sense of how it all went down, how it all went down, and try to understand what the turning points were and why Nakamura is so dominant. Nakamura, I just want to say, I've known for a long time, and his chess has always been an enigma to me. And why? Because he was always playing blitz from a very young age, and everyone said, Naka, you've got such an amazing talent. Why? Why is it that you're playing blitz all the time like a maniac? Don't you want to be studying the classics? Don't you want to have some super GM be your teacher? This is when he's a kid, And he's like, no, I just want to play blitz online. And either you can say that, in fact, you can get good with blitz online, or he's just super talented. Obviously, both. I have a personal theory that it has a lot to do with his stepdad, Sunil Weermantree, who is still a great chess coach in the New York City area. In any case, it never made any sense to me that he got as good as he got. That he got to 2,600, kind of early. That was more understandable, but then they made the jump, into being in contention for one of the best. Really interesting. Now, of course, in terms of winning, before COVID was the prize of everything, which was the World Championship Classical, which to me as a chess fan is still the most interesting thing. I guess we'd have to say his time has probably passed. That's not going to happen. However, now it's almost as if maybe that World Championship Classical thing doesn't have the same cachet, the same currency that it once had. And now, like this blitz phenomenon going on every day, it seems, online, is a much bigger thing. And of course, Naka has reinvented the art of chess streaming. The guy can talk and do all kinds of stuff while he's streaming, playing good moves. And it's always been so weird to me that he could find good moves so quickly. It's almost like he's not thinking. That's one of the weirdest things. He's not thinking somehow. He's just playing the moves. So let's do this. Let's cruise through some of these games and just try to understand the art of Nakamura, and also just ask the question, maybe Fedoseev was on tilt. Clearly at some point you are going to, after you lose 3 games in a row, you're going to start being on tilt. But let's check it out. So this is game 1. This was played today. 5-5. 5 minutes, 5-second increment. And here we go. Very standard stuff. Very standard stuff. Okay. This is all theory still. Okay. Now, maybe this is a little unpleasant for black because of the c6 pawn. Okay, so we'll say out of the opening, Naka gets a small advantage. Okay. Now, actually, I like that he doesn't take the bishop. I think a lot of people would reflexively take the bishop, but then the queen's just centralized, and the bishop isn't that hot anyway. And yeah, it's already really uncomfortable. I can imagine, especially uncomfortable on a blitz level, because if you play bishop b8, you don't really want to play rook bc7 after that. That's really ugly. Okay, so still very solid position. And recently on the Chess Dojo, we've been talking about Boris Gelfand's new book, Technical Chess, and we're definitely going to get a position here which is reminiscent of that book, where black will have maybe one weakness, but probably not two. And in my own dogmatic sense of chess in the ending, you usually need two weaknesses to actually get a winning position. The knight on d6, I'm sure Naka's already thinking about all kinds of tactics on it. It's just a vulnerable piece. Knight d2, beautiful. Just keep it vulnerable. Doesn't have anywhere to go. All right, so black now commits, and boom. Oh, that's unfortunate, isn't it? Boom, nice move. So now if cd, I assume the intention is queen takes c8, which might be playable. Maybe he should do it anyway. He does. Boom. 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 Actually, fascinating position, whether it's blitz or not. We actually talked about a kind of similar position last night with the Gelfand book, and I've always found these positions a little bit scary, because the rooks really do have to coordinate for white to get the advantage, right? I feel like Kramnik won a bunch of games with the rooks, but no one else has been able to do it. And like if I was white here, even if it was a classical game, I'd be worried about bishop f4. That would be the thing I'd be worried about. Okay, so here we go. Bishop f4, indeed. Yeah. And Naka's just going to say there is nothing happening for black. Very natural. Knight of queen b4, knight f3, and probably g3 now. Yeah. Okay. So, one of the amazing things about Naka is that he has the ability to win this kind of position on a consistent basis. Is this position winning? I have a feeling someone like Kramnik would say this position is winning. I wouldn't trust myself to say it's winning. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now I guess we gotta say it's winning, right? Dang. Dang. Oh, now it's toast. Okay, very, very instructive game. And actually, you go back on it, there wasn't like a clear super blunder by black, right? That's just a classical game anybody could be proud of. Black didn't do anything funky, really. We can argue that his opening was a little wrong, but there's loads of GM games like this where black has a small disadvantage, and you can say, so what? Nice move. Maybe he thought he could have played queen takes, Maybe that was kind of what he was thinking. I mean, this is going to be unpleasant too. But I would say in this one, like even if you, let's say here, so I don't know, something like Oh, there's weird. Actually, you know what? There's weird tactics here. For example, queen here. And imagine snip. Let's just say I'm hitting the bishop, so you gotta play. No, look at that. Queen d8, in fact, would have been the winner. Because now we have queen h2, my friends. Queen h2. Excuse me, bishop h2. Freudian slip because I'm winning the queen. Queen d8 would have been a nice move, actually. So that dc isn't even possible. Oh, yeah. So in these games, obviously, the tactics like that are totally critical. And after GF, as in the game, then he really is suffering. I don't, like we said, I mean, that was great technique. All right, let's look at game number 2. Again, just to recap, Naka won this first leg 8-0. 8-0. I don't know, you think about Fischer winning like 6-0. It's like 8-0 against a very strong player. And let's go into game 2. Yeah, and then I think there were 27 matches, 27 games in all, and he had like 21 and a half. Obviously, anyway, an amazing result today. So Naka's black here. Okay. Classical. I've played this myself as white. Actually, this queen c1 move's fun because, there's all kinds of things white could do there, like bishop g5 and such. But Josh Friedel turned me on to queen c1 as a move. Okay, these positions, I want to say, as white, as someone who's done this kind of thing as white, they are amazingly tricky because not only is there all kinds of positional stuff going on, but there's lots of nasty tactics, and you could see black's going to get some good squares, like knight b4 and stuff, and the only worry he has really is like, is white going to be able to dominate some of the minors with a move like e4 a little bit later? And even then, I've had positions like that, and it still wasn't easy. Okay, now bishop d2 is obviously a little controversial, but he's trying to say that later, I assume, like I'm assuming queen b1, like knight b4, queen b1, intending e4. Yeah, queen b1. I called it. Right. Interesting position. So the achievement white can claim is that, yes, black is preventing e4 here, but the knight on a6 is not hot. So I'm going to guess rook e1. Yeah. Bishop f3. And rook d8. Fascinating. Okay, so this is all very tactical. This idea of bishop f3 you get a lot in the Scandi, and a lot of times Scandinavian. Bishop f3 and then c6 will happen with a kind of similar structure. Rook d8 is more testing because I'm assuming the idea is something like bishop b7, rook d4. Okay. He does do it. Maybe this is a mistake. Oh, okay, so knight c5, let's guesstimate that he missed knight c5. What's nice about knight c5 too is that's the one piece that isn't working. I think now we got to say white has to be a little careful. That the thing that it all doesn't fall apart. This is exactly what I'm talking about in these Catalans. Your position can become shaky, and then all of a sudden it's uncomfortable. And if we go back, rook d8 was a nice move. Well, the whole thing, bishop f3, rook d8, because I think if e3, then c5 is going to come and black is beautiful. However, it's not like he didn't have an out. He could have played bishop e3 here. So I'm going to guess. I was going to say we're going to guess, but you don't have to guess with me. That he missed knight c5. Right. Beautiful. Right, we have an opposite color bishop ending. The pawns aren't going to matter much. And the dark squares are really going to be nasty for black. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. That's game, I think. Yeah, this is just game. All right, so let's say that came from a nice shaky position, and I can see I've had stuff like that happen to me. And black honestly doesn't have to be a genius a lot of times. You're just waiting for white to make some kind of slip. And you know, I I don't know. Some of this might, I know the queen c1 is theory, but I don't know about bishop d2. Maybe he was still even in his theory then. All right, let's go game 3. Again, this is Naka crushing Fedoseev today, 8-0 in the 5+5 games. Actually, I'm going to check this. I think it might be 5-1. 5-1, excuse me. Let me make sure I didn't lose my board here. Right. So, let's get it messed up here. Come on, Kraai. Why'd you have to move the board, buddy? Why'd you have to move the board? You didn't have to move the board. All right, you know what? I'm just going to manually fix this. I will never move the board again. I promise you guys. I promise I won't do it. All right, so here we are. This is game 3 of this epic beatdown that Naka gave Fedoseev today. So we repeat, and h6. This honestly is like a modern chess thing. No one really believes in this move. But as a blitz thing, whatever. You could do it. Okay. So knight e5 is definitely not the first move that would come off to my mind. But I'm going to guess the idea with knight e5 is to initiate some kind of Pillsbury attack with f4 later. Let's see how it goes. Snip. Okay, so bishop d6, I'm assuming knight f4 would come. And now knight c4. Black isn't that, I feel after h6 that he deserves punishment. Crime and punishment. But now I think black is okay. Probably a6, c5 first. Do you have to take that thing? He says, no, I do not. He snips the light squares. And honestly, let's just say black is fine, right? White has the unopposed bishop. It shouldn't be so bad. Now, I will say, it's interesting. Black's, I think, fine. Fischer did this kind of thing, too, where sometimes you get some position out of the opening, and your hope is just that later the position is going to open, or your plan is that the position's later going to open and the bishop will come to life. All right, Naka's just going to fool around a little bit. Always repeat. And Fedoseev doesn't repeat, and that might also be not only because his position's fine, but because he's down 2-0 at this point. I will say Naka is a very slimy dude, and I mean that. I mean that in the best way. He will come up with dirty tricks to mess with your head, and just because he repeats doesn't even mean he wanted to draw. Okay. And right at this moment, black has to be careful that not to be worse here with the bishop pair. Well, now we got to say he's worse. Yeah, weak pawn, better bishops. Very nice play. Funnily, the same as round 1, where the bishop on d6 is awkward. Yeah, just a little bit better. Let's say the obvious. But white has one goal, one need, and that is to fix the bishop on e1. Now at least the bishop on e1's doing something with knight g4. You know, when you turn on the engine in a position like this, the engine's going to say all kinds of stuff. Like, i.e., both sides are making mistakes. But, you know, this is pretty much a working here. And now, I don't know, probably a technically lost position, the kind of thing that a weak GM like myself wouldn't always convert. But Naka, dude, he's going to bring it here. Is it true? You had to give up the pawn, bro? You had to give up the pawn? Wait a second. Queen a5. Oh, I didn't even realize that. I take everything back. It's totally equal. So Naka won this position, man. Oh, no. Oh, no. That's horrendo. Like I told you, he's a slimy dude. I mean, honestly, if I was in a blitz game, I'd rather have the knight just because they're trickier dudes. No draw. Yeah. Oh, my God. What happened here? I'm just going to blaze through this one. Back and forth. Back and forth. So he blundered a pawn. Oh, no. Did he miss queen d4? Oh, horrendous. Okay, that was totally cruel. Totally cruel. All right, so let's check it out. Let's go to game 4 of this epic match. All right. Wait, am I on game 4? Yeah, here we go. So game 4. Fedoseev switches it up. Plays the old-fashioned Giuoco piano. I was a grown man before I realized that Giuoco piano is actually a quiet game. It was hard for me to understand or believe because when I played the Giuoco piano, it was full madness as a kid anyway. I never played the slow stuff. Okay. It's an interesting position. Okay. You know, this kind of thing actually has always bothered me. Where white is saying, of course, that the pawn on d4 is dominating the bishop on b6 and the knight on d7. But it's black who's having all the fun, right? And so, like, in this position, what are you supposed to do? Are you supposed to play h3 to force matters? He does. Oh, no. It went, the milk has gone bad. Because he was, if queen f3, bishop d4. He got out tactic again, man. And now, I think, well, it's not, I mean, it's not like an easy advantage for black, but I think after something like c5, we got to say he's better, right? Yeah. Jeez. Very nice. Oh, no. Cruelty. Ouch. Well, this one's going down, my friends. This is game 4. You guys, I want to say, Fedoseev, this is not some chump that Hikaru's taking down here. This guy's the real deal. And this is, I mean, this is over. Good night. Yeah. Yeah, this is... King is too weak. Especially in a blitz game. Yeah. Ah, brutal. All right, so that was game 4. This is one of the most epic beatdowns in Blitz history. I'm sure like there's been matches online and stuff, but in terms of a Blitz tournament with like very strong players, I don't think I've ever seen this kind of beatdown. I can't remember. If you guys know any other beatdown of this scale, let me know. All right, this is game 5. 5-1 is the time control. Again, this H6 thing. Okay. He gets the bishop on d6 in every single game, man. All right. Okay, this time Naka takes. I presume that black could recapture both ways. But on CD, the bishop on C1 will probably end up on A3. Oh, am I good or what? Am I good or what? All right, so kind of a funny thing about this match is the D6 point, whether it was a bishop or a pawn, is the problem. And this is unfortunate already here. All white has to do is figure out where to put the knight on A2, right? If you figure out where to put the knight on A2, that's it. And I don't know how you solve your D6 problems. E5 is the threat. And we just got to say F3, E4 dominates the knight on F6, dominates the bishop on B7. Yeah. It's funny that, you know, sometimes Naka's such a, one of the reasons Naka's such an enigma to me is he has a lot of snap judgments that, you know, are so, when he makes them sound so profoundly arrogant and self-assured. And I'm just saying that because I imagine when he got this position, he just felt like he was winning. And this time I'm with him. I don't see any way for black to live through this thing. I take it back. I mean, you got chances to live. You got chances to live. Yeah, so 2 games where the 2 bishops were dominant. Nice move. Oh yeah, that's cold. So knight d4, knight f6, queen g6, queen g7, and it's a problem. The bishops are a problem, my friend. So knight g4 exclam. Let's call this a French position with no good bishop for black and a terrible bishop on b7. He goes back. He massages. Okay, so how bad is this ending? This might be lost. I don't know. It feels too strong to say it's lost. However, the minors are so terrible. Good night. Oh God. Don't do it, buddy. Dang, now the knight's... Oh, that's cruel. Ooh. No, those pawns aren't going anywhere. Dang. Oh, man. Oh, sorry, kid. Resigns. Bishop b3's fallen, a2's fallen. Really nice endgame technique. Create problems in the opening. A little bit of this and that. Finish him off in the ending. And that was one of the questions I had when I was thinking about, you know, just what was going on in this match. Is like, how does it happen that you crush someone super strong 8-0 in any kind of match? All right. So that was game 5, I believe. And now we're going to go game 6. Been true to their openings. Same as last time. Same as last time. Same as last time. Okay. Same. And if I recall, bishop b4 was played the first time around. Right. Okay. Actually, excuse me. Queen b1 was played instead of rook e1. Okay. Queen b1, so we kind of transpose. And now the knight is better on b4, but it's this time, this is the match. If you could name this match, it would be called the bishop d6 match, because now Naka's got the bishop on d6. And if white has any advantage, it's that e4, e5 is a problem, as well as just even if you achieve e4, all of black's pieces are hokey. So black needs a move to stop e4. Honestly, this position, we're going to see what Naka did, but when I'm just looking at it, I would rather, this is the position, I've played this a4 thing myself, is the kind of thing that I would be happy with. I always blow it because some terrible tactic happens to me. That's probably what happened to Fedoseev here too. The famous bishop f3 trick, c5. Okay. It's also the tale of the two bishops. I want to believe that white's a little bit better here. But something like c4 at some point could really be a hassle. That's an ugly move. I don't know, buddy. Really? You got to do that? It's so funny how it happens. Like, okay, we get this position. I felt like white is fine, you know? Black snips, plays c5. And the drama is that you got to worry about c4 and you're trying to, you know, get some points back. But I mean, isn't dc what white should have done? You know, it's still not clear exactly what we're doing after that, but you know, we can make some claim about the bishops. What's odd is the queen on b1 doesn't have any great squares to go to, and if the queen on b1 doesn't have anything to do, then you're going to end up doing something gross like rook a3. So if I was going to just make a random suggestion here, dc followed by knight e4 feels like, no, I don't know. Black's, you know, white's maybe a little bit better. But e3, and now your bishop can't get out. You know, and rook a3 doesn't look right. And are you just lost now? Oh, no. Fedoseev, buddy. Oh, buddy. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. This is now terrible. Like the dark square death is now on its way. Oh. Oh, no. Just give it all to me. Give me all those dark squares. Oh, oh, he's not even gonna let you have anything. Nothing. Now it's just Hikaru doing puzzle rush all day here. Brutal. Brutal, my friends. That's some real brutality. And I imagine he's sitting there at his house. He's streaming. He's talking to people. He's like, oh, yeah, thanks for the 15 bits, bro. Oh, yeah, you know, oh, I beat this chump back in the day or something, you know, just shooting all. Oh, man. So, everybody, look at that. That's a real clinic. Here we go. Let's do round 7. We've seen it before. So 2 games, Fedoseev did early h6, and now we get this position. I'll just say this position, my sense was always that black is fine, you know, because the dark square bishop should hold black's position together. I'm going to say there's more than one way for him to do this. Like, he didn't have to take on c4, but okay, c4. It's a little weird to me what he's doing. Well, we got to say, white's much better. The bishop on c7, terrible. That dark square bishop in every single line. It gets getting persecuted. Bishop d3 will happen someday. Initiative against the black king. Oh, poor pawn structure. Very standard business. The bishop has truly been a victim, right? Just classical chess from Hikaru as far as I can tell. There again. So maybe we'll get the two rooks like in game one. All right, he says, no, I don't want it anymore. Knight d4. And now the knight's going to come to c6, and it's going to be unpleasant. I'm going to guess that black was hoping that white could not play knight d4. But on a positional level, as long as bishop e5 doesn't work, you're saying stuff like, well, if queen h4, then knight c6, and I'm doing great. The bishop is again persecuted, the dark square bishop. That's exactly what happened. Now, how bad is it? I guess part of the intuition as to why this might be terrible is with the opposite color bishops, it means the initiative will favor, the value of the initiative will go up, which white has. And the knight on c6 is obviously amazing, dominating the rook on c8. No rook d8. So, like, black can't move. But I'm not sure I would say this is... Oh, man, this might just be lost. Like, what happens... Okay, so black's idea is if bishop c7, we can hopefully play queen g4, because you got to cover e7. I don't know. g3 is going to be a good positional move anyway. Game. Even I saw that. Oh, man. But even though I saw it, it's like I don't know what he's supposed to do about it. So, right, in this position, CD, rook c8 exclam. If here, well, then it's just this one, right? Oh, it's not, it's going to be mate. It's not just like some ending. It's going to be mate. Oh, you guys, brutal. So, rook c8, knight d4. There's no bishop e5 because of knight c6. Imagine bishop e5, knight c6, queen c7, knight e5, queen e5, bishop h7, hello, queen e5, toast. So, and if you can't take on e5, what it really means too is that bishop on b8, victim. It's amazing how every single game that bishop has been made a victim. And I'll just say it's ironic in particularly this opening system, because part of the idea is that we're sacrificing time, black is, with bishop g5 and then h6. We sacrifice some time to grab white's bishop, and in return we're supposed to have this delicious dark square bishop, but it's not looking so delicious right now. And I guess we have to say that's just a clean blunder. Hard to give him some advice here, but that's a clean blunder, because now boom, boom. I don't even know, what is he, maybe rook e8 is what he's got to do? Ooh. That's an ugly move. But I guess rook e8. Maybe that's what the computer would tell the guy to do. Whew. Totally vicious. Totally vicious. All right. Game 8. Here we go. So Naka's black. All right. We saw this once before. Yeah, these positions are always pretty interesting to me. Like the last game, White's only chance at claiming an advantage is going to be to play d4 to shut the bishop on b6 out. But there's going to be all kinds of nasty counter shots to interrupt that glory. And you probably want to play h3 right now to stop bishop g4. Okay? And he doesn't. Bishop b2 is an ugly move. So, he feels he's got to do it because put the bishop, by it, I mean putting the bishop on a terrible square like b2, because this d4 point is something black is tickling. But already, I definitely want to be black. Black, again, like this is the kind of position where black has all the play. Right, now aggressive stuff is happening. Yeah. And I think you already have to say black is better. Because the bishop on b2 is so awful. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. We're getting a little some. Cool as a cucumber. All right. So maybe white is better here. This is the first position out of the opening where I'm like, maybe white's better. I guess I said that about the Catalan position too. Okay, so, that position, he pulled this off. Boom. All right. I mean, looks beautiful what he's doing. It looks like white has an advantage. That doesn't feel like the move you want to make. Now, maybe he has some idea that I don't see yet, but let's just say, in general, that he would want to play something like g3. And maybe I'm missing some tactic or whatever, but yeah, g3, just some building move. Let's see what his intention with bishop d5 is. He wants to steal a pawn. Okay. So, I guess we can say that he stole his pawn, and now Naka needs to find some kind of juice in this position. b6. Okay, so the knight is stopped. Pawns are stopped. Maybe the queen runs over. Now, did Naka have some dirty trick after knight f4? Seems like that would have been the first question. Could white have played knight f4? Maybe it's king f7 after that was Naka's idea. Okay, so Naka, of course, this is game 8, and he's going to win this thing. And I will say, this is a 5-1 thing, but there's still, like, Fedoseev on a mathematical level isn't out of this tournament yet, because they get to play 3-1 after this and then 1-1. So it's not like he has to go totally on tilt. This position, I guess, to me it looks like maybe it's winning. At the very least, it's clear advantage. The extra pawn at the moment, it does mean something, because white has loads of good moves here. He could play for a plan with f4, f5, or he could just break immediately with a5. I have a feeling the computer will probably tell us that both are good. He goes the f4. Now, this is definitely going to be more dangerous because now our own king is open. And now if you play a5, right, if you play a5 now, we got to worry about Naka's pieces swinging in. Okay, preventing a5. Now you can obviously ask the question, how did the dude lose this game? And the first thing we got to say is this position is going to be very hard to win. Very tough to win because it's going to be hard to create the pass pawn, and the black queen is going to start playing pinball down there on the inside of our guts. All right, good. Threatening h5. Black says no. And there it is. It's very annoying in these positions. Obviously, white shouldn't lose. But still, now you got to deal with this queen bouncing all around. Well, there's some simple questions right there. Oh, I have a bad feeling about that a5 move. Check to the miserable king. Check the miserable king. And now he's begging for a draw. Ooh, man. So that's the classic case where you don't have much anymore. You got your extra pawn. You had your sense that you were winning the game. And then things totally fall apart. Let's go slow-mo on that one again. So like I said, this one's hard. White's not doing anything big here anymore. If you play like queen d2, there's going to be queen c4. And like I said, the pinball creation, queen c1 is coming real quick. And then what are you supposed to do, especially if you're going to try to win the game? If you play a5 now, unfortunately, queen d2 and queen a5. So there's nothing going on there. That's probably the idea of king e2. And now he's touching d4, stopping a5. And then you got to deal with that. And it's honestly, isn't it? It's already a little unpleasant for white. It's already unpleasant. If you play king c2, he's going to play queen takes d4. Oh, no. Terrible. Oh, the milk has already gone bad here, my friends. I don't know. I'm going to say that's now lost. I mean, you can play on, but your pawns are just like, they're terrible. Your queen doesn't have any activity. Oh, man. Oh, that's classic right there. Bring it all in, son. Bring it all in. Oh, ouch. Ah. Whew. Well, guys, that was a beautiful match. And I guess, Naka, dude, that was showcase Naka style of what the guy's capable in the blitz. And it gets even more evil when you go to the faster time controls. And maybe we could take a look at those at summertime. These games are not live, but I'm just answering a question in the chat. But they were played today. So this is a historic moment. Naka beats Fedoseev. I think it was 21.5 out of 27, but more importantly, to my mind, wins the first leg of the Blitz thing today. With a 5+1 segment of 8 games to 0. Absolutely stunning. So historic. And we're going to be, I don't know, it's kind of an interesting thing in terms of chess culture because this is maybe the new big deal with the quick chess, and Naka streaming it makes it even a bigger deal. And now, especially for me as a chess fan, because I don't have any classical chess world championship to be a fan of at the moment anyway. All right. So, guys, thank you very much. I'm going to be GM in residence here for the next week or so. Hope to see you around. Bye-bye.